Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to another episode of Scribe Speaks. Today, we are continuing with the story on the Channel 5 Action News Andrew Callahan sexual assault allegations. There have been a couple of updates since yesterday. I released my video last night. It was very late. We had a terrible storm come through, tornado knocked down the power lines, ripped the roof off of a house down the road. Pretty crazy stuff, but everyone's okay. Wife is okay, kids are okay, dog is okay. Everyone's fine. That being said, let's get into this story. Yesterday, I talked about in my video just briefly the allegations that are being leveled by the two main victims of this situation against Andrew Callahan. These are women that he has known from his time traveling around the states, doing his man on the street interviews. He knew these women prior to his show This Place Rules going up on HBO. And now that it is out and he's gained some notoriety, there is a resurfacing of allegations. And I wanted to address that specifically. Some of these allegations are older. They are not recent. They are not in response to his HBO show. They predate it. I believe some of these allegations go back at least a year. That being said, there are some updates on this situation that I think are important to get into. I haven't seen anyone talking about this. First of which is Tim Heidecker, the producer for Andrew's show on HBO, This Place Rules. This is interesting to me because Tim has had a closer relationship with Andrew, professionally speaking. He's closer to him in the sense of, as far as I'm aware, more recently interacted with him professionally. Yesterday, Tim came out on the side of the victims. We're going to read the direct quote here. "It has been a very painful week for us. A very difficult experience to process. We didn't want to just rush out and say something that felt insincere or a crisis person told us what to say kind of thing. I don't think that's helpful. And we just wanted to wrap our head around it and talk about it and try to understand it more. But of course, we are aware of the allegations. We take them very seriously, and it's just been very sad and just disappointing, to say the least. I just want to clarify a couple of things. We have no professional relationship with Andrew at this time and have no plans of going forward to have any relationship with him in the future." So that's interesting. The most recent kind of professional contact of Andrew has come out and sided with the victims on this. I think that's notable because, again, I think if anyone does know something specific, it would be some of his the people that interact with him a little bit more frequently. But what I am noticing here again, and this is a trend I'm seeing with all of these accusations, there is no evidence. There's nothing hard. There's nothing concrete. It all goes back to these allegations. It's the word of these young women against the word of Andrew Callahan. I'm sorry, guys. The legal system just doesn't work that way. I know that the internet's different. I know that we police our own out here. I know that the climate has been tumultuous, to say the least, especially since the advent of the Me Too movement. But I can't help but notice how there is nothing explicitly concrete about these allegations. I haven't seen any DMs. I haven't seen any videos, no clips, no voice recordings. This is just a crazy time to live in for there to be so little outside of the allegations. There's nothing here to really make a judgment call on, but everybody has made judgment calls. Something else I wanted to address was Ethan Klein's kind of walking back of his previous statement. So yesterday he comes out and says that he has spoken with Andrew. I don't know if it was through text or through a voice call. He claimed that Andrew had essentially just admitted to everything, that he had known these girls and had involved himself with them sexually, and he left it at that. Something that has kind of taken a left turn for me is how Ethan has now responded. He posted on his Twitter, "Famous men should not have random hookups, especially involving alcohol, with fans. Period. Ever. This is all getting to be too much." That's an interesting quote from the guy that kind of broke this part of the story. He's the one. He's the source. He said Andrew admitted it. Andrew admitted it. And because Ethan said this, people like Xander Hall, Bo Blacks, and all these other people, which, again, people I like, I respect, and I appreciate, they've come out and said Andrew's guilty. He's admitted it. This is over. It's over, bro. This is them taking Ethan at his word, and now Ethan is seemingly walking some of that back a little bit. He's not saying that there was any involved. He's now using terms like random hookup, and he's not saying victims. He's saying fans. You know, the primary source for this, Andrew did it. He admitted to it. He's walked back this statement. So I think that was definitely, like I said yesterday, I think it was a pretty reckless thing for Ethan to come out and say this, especially without there being any evidence. From where I'm sitting, it looks like he's doing a little bit of damage control. I did want to say there was a response, and this is the last thing I'm going to cover on this update. there was a response from Channel 5's lawyer. Andrew's legal representation, not Andrew himself, but his lawyer, reached out to TMZ and made a statement. Andrew is devastated that he's being accused of any type of physical or mental coercion against anyone. Conversations about pressure and consent are extremely important, and Andrew wants to have these conversations so he can continue to learn and grow. You can tell right there that is a scripted, canned response. That lawyer has dealt with similar accusations, and I guarantee you, if you look back at his client list, if any of them have any kind of comparable allegations leveled at them, he's probably said the exact same line in the exact same way, probably to the exact same source. That comes across to me as very much paperwork type of stuff. He is putting it out there. Andrew's upset. He can't believe these allegations. This is insane. And that's not very interesting to me. That's not something that I put too much stock in. What is interesting to me about this is the counterclaim. This is something that has been completely ignored by the entire community. I've been on Twitter since last night. I've watched what's going on. I've asked people questions, reached out to them. I haven't got any responses, but it is what it is. Anyway, his lawyer makes a counterclaim. I want to see some proof of this too. Because again, there should be DMs, there should be recordings of this. If what the lawyers are saying is right, this definitely throws a wrench in it. But the biggest problem with this whole entire case is nobody is substantiating anything. So let me get into it. Let me stop obfuscating. The lawyer goes on to accuse one of the girls of trying to extort money from him. So he says, while every dynamic is open to interpretation and proper communication is critical from all those involved, repeated requests for money should not be part of those conversations. So the lawyer has now tried to turn the tables on one of these girls. I'm not sure which one. He says that she's asking for money. She's hitting Andrew up within a few days of the release of his movie. Apparently there was a quote of a fat paycheck or something from them, and I would love to see that. I would love to see any kind of, again, please, somebody somewhere on either side of this, show me some screenshots of something. So show me some recordings of something. There's got to be some kind of evidence of something happening. It's getting deeper, but I feel like there's now more questions than answers. What is actually going on here? And what about the other girl? What about her accusations? This is getting kind of messy, guys. But Tim Heidecker is upset, and I think this is the primary motivation for distancing himself from Andrew. He says it feels terrible that his film now has these allegations tied to it because very good people worked very hard on it. But it's just a movie. And I just want to say that these women came forward and, of course, totally condemned the type of behavior that Andrew's being accused of, he said. I believe it's up to Andrew to address these allegations and to do so openly and honestly, and I really hope he does so as soon as possible. There you have it, folks. Those are the updates, the three major updates in this situation. Tim Heidecker has dropped Andrew Callahan as a professional contact and will not be working with him in the future. Ethan Klein is walking back his previous statement, saying that now these were random hookups with fans rather than Andrew admitting to assaults on victims. And the final update is, of course, the counterclaim from Channel 5's legal representation talking about accusations of extorting money. What do you guys think? This is getting more complex. The situation is getting deeper, and on Twitter, pretty much just devolved into rape bad. I feel like we're all pretty much past that. I think everybody is pretty much there, but I just don't think that's a productive conversation to have. And until we get something concrete, I'm just not willing to, again, throw my hat in this ring and take one side or the other. But I will tell you this right now. I don't think we should stop talking about this. This needs to keep happening. We need to keep getting on this. More and more people need to address this situation until one side or the other is forced to come out and say something. I genuinely believe that. We need to talk about this so much, and it doesn't need to go away. We need to make sure that we stay on top of this because these are some serious allegations and they've got some serious consequences attached to them, guys. So let me know what you think in the comments. Please, please. This is very important. These types of situations have been getting more and more coverage, and I think it's a good thing ultimately that we have these kinds of conversations, but it has to be a conversation. We have to be able to talk about this in an open way. We have to be able to talk about this rationally if anyone is going to benefit at all. That being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll keep you guys informed on any new updates. Love you guys. Safe travels.